Ladies and gentlemen, I am back after a day and a half break. There is so much crazy stuff going on right now. I can't really talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about it in the future. Anyway, I've got a day and a half left in my monthly fundraiser, and I got $450 left to raise for Mayday May 2020. So if you'd like to contribute and help me keep THORnews up and running for the month of May, which promises to be what could be the worst month of 2020, I will do my best to bring you all the information. I made over 90 videos in April. And so I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, and a Patron if you do have the extra and appreciate my work over the last month or the last 7 years. All right, let's get to the info. Okay, with all the gas giants on the same side and all the planets are starting to get on the same side too, we are expecting to see, this is Saturn and Jupiter, the two biggest planets in our solar system. We're expecting to see an uptick of earthquake and volcano activity in 2020. We got a pretty big volcano eruption in Japan 15 hours ago. We got a 5.4 earthquake in Taiwan about 21 hours ago. We got a pretty decent sized eruption in Popocatépetl, which is the most active volcano on Earth since the start of 2019. And we're definitely keeping an eye on the Caribbean region. And we got a 5.5 magnitude earthquake was recorded up the waters of southern Puerto Rico early Saturday. And that was shallow and did quite a bit of damage. We got a 6.0 earthquake northwest of Rico Islands in Japan. And we had a 6.5 earthquake in Greece on May 2nd, I believe. And so let me give you a little bit of the good news. And probably the only good news we have. Okay, the GFS started to show double hurricanes on the models like 2 or 3 days ago. And so, and most places have been predicting a pretty active, very active hurricane season. But as Dadabu, the Florida Wave Master, reports, breaking, the GFS is still broken. Last week spun up 2 cyclones at the same time, Pi in the Bay of Bengal. This week, EPAC and off southeast U.S. coast, and then poof, nothing to see here past the 10-day mark. And that fits in the pattern of last year, where the hurricanes would have initially show up, look pretty damaging or a threat to the United States of America, and then nothing would happen. And so it looks like that trend may continue. We're going to follow it extremely closely, but we may have Space Force / Asteroid Fight Club / Prayer Warriors keeping hurricanes at bay for the United States this year. So that would be good news, but we're going to have to monitor this hurricane season as closely as ever, because this is the first hurricane season. I don't really know what is going to happen. Asterisk, that sounded arrogant. Now, your basic run-of-the-mill weather. In about a day, we got some more possible tornado activity. Although in the last storm, we only had 1 tornado. But we got a lot of nasty straight line winds. So we're going to have to watch out for this thing for possible tornadoes in the red and some straight line winds. And then some rain in some areas. This storm shouldn't be too bad compared to like all the things going on. I wouldn't say this storm is our biggest worry. But if you were in Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Tulsa, Overland Park, Springfield, Missouri, I would keep an eye out. And then Tennessee and Georgia, Missouri, Arkansas, you may want to watch a little. And then there's a little bit of Texas in there. Now we got a decent little storm moving in the Appalachians. And then some up in the central northwest. I guess there's no central northwest, there's central north. You can keep an eye on, or you can listen to the rain if it's going over you. Talking about Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky. Yeah. And you're getting some up in Montana and whatever state that is with Bismarck. Asterisk. We are under 100 rivers flooding, so that's decent for this early in May, but we will keep an eye on it. Cranky Weather Guy, the best weatherman on the planet, has got us all watching the Atlantic around the middle of May. Possible cyclonic activity, though nobody's ringing any alarm bells right now because, Jesus Christ, the Space Force appears to be great. It looks like we've got some amazingly anomalous, large, cold Barney on steroids coolness coming, which is cool. But as Jeff Bradelli points out, it's going to be crazy extremes later this week and weekend. 100, 110 in the deep southwest, with dozens of records and jeopardies, and 20s for the lows, in teens for wind chills in the Great Lakes in the Northeast by the weekend. Now remember, technically all of 2020, we're watching the West Coast and specifically California for a possible volcano eruption or a large earthquake. And yes, no matter how dark it gets, don't worry, the sun will come out tomorrow. And so be prepared for Mayday May. It's going to get weird on every level, I imagine, and continue to become more increasingly Mayish. Oh, hey, did you see that down there at the end? That is some type of hurricane activity we'll be watching for. But it is outside of the 10-day window, 5-day window that meteorologists take seriously, but it never hurts to continue to watch to get an eye on the patterns. You know what I'm saying? And it falls right in the window of the cranky weather guy warned. There it is. Area. Yeah, but look, it looks like they've got it. The last frame showed it kind of moving out. It develops and then it starts to flow, and it even flows against the high pressure, which is weird, which makes me believe that, you know, atmospheric defense team is totally real, because there are good guys that are watching over our backs. See how it develops? And what we learned with last year was anytime one develops down here, usually we get one up here, though they kept it off the coast in the United States every single time. But it is definitely something to watch. So you can see they develop, and then it goes against the high. You know, it literally, like, it should be following the high, but this literally like cuts into the high. So that is good news for us, because the last thing we need is a bunch of hurricanes slamming into the United States this year. I don't want that. Hopefully you don't want that. Nobody wants that, because even if with no hurricanes hitting us in 2020 is definitely going to be a tough year. And I have every reason to believe that May is going to be a pretty tough and brutal month, which is why I've been warning about it all year. And so I'm just asking everybody to stay cool, stay kind, keep calm, keep it together, and try not to feed into the madness, because people are losing their minds enough as it is. Okay? So, hey, I give my all the time, and if you would like to help me, I only got $455 left to raise in my fundraiser. I'd appreciate it. I'll leave the links in the information box. I can't thank Asteroid Fight Club enough. Thank you, Chrissy, James, Joseph and Maggie, Valentine, Julie, JL, Kari, Cass, Rachel, Angela, Glenda, the super duper 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 Texas Angel, Ellie, Mike, and Nancy. You guys are incredible, and y'all are the reason I am Planetary Defense Commander in the most challenging time of our lives. I love you, appreciate you, and may God bless us all.